All attendees are unmuted.
Perfect. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know what happened. I got kicked off and I had to come back on.
No problem. They had a new platform they installed, and unless you get used to it, it's a little different.
Yep. All right. So
Okay.
Let's get back to your presentation here.
Yeah, put the presentation up there. Can you upload it, please? Go into the More tab, click on Share Slides, and then it says at the bottom of it, Upload Presentation.
Okay. Hang on just a second.
Look, the reality is there's lots of, well, he does that. There's lots of stuff that's happening out in the world there, and we're coming into some very interesting times. The key of everything I'm going to tell you tonight is that the middle ground between the top, there's going to be the changes here. You're either going to be on the upswing of that change or you're going to be on the downsides. There's going to be any middle ground. The middle ground is going to be wiped out through the change. Every financial expert here and abroad is forecasting it, except the ones on the mainstream media, whose only goal is they don't even tell you what's going on with the BRICS Bank. Now, I'm not here to be some conspiracy theory or anything else, but the stewards of this are not going to tell you the real story. You might find the best story. Go outside the United States and watch their news. They talk about the BRICS Bank and move every day, sometimes 3 morning, noon, and night. But here they don't even bring it out. Why? Because they want you to always, stay in this, because staying in this will delay the decline of this faster. There's only one way for it to go. Now, if you believe, I'm put this out, if you believe that the people we trust to take care of this in Washington, in all of that part, in both the banking sector as well as the legislation and area, if you believe that they have a firm grip on that and they know exactly what they're doing, and you are not going to be negatively affected by their decisions, then you don't need to do any of this. I don't know if I can make this advance or not. No, I can't make it advance. You're going to have to advance the slide, Gary. The reality is, what I want to tell you here is let's move one step further. I told you that statement there programs the brain to receive information properly for the next step of engagement. Go ahead, hit me the next slide. Why are some people not successful with this business? Number one, their perception of it is different than what they would like to convey. And you're going to be misunderstood sometimes. I have found this over time. The ones that talk the process, not the product, have a higher rate of success. Now, when you talk a process versus a product, when you talk only product, you know what happens? You're a salesman. That conveys in their brain job. But when you talk the process, even somebody that doesn't want to be a sales guy, and some people, hey, that's money's made in sales. But the masses, that's not, when you're talking product and sales and metals, you're talking about large metal sales, where large profit it is. And when you get done with that, that money's gone. It's like selling a high-dollar home. When you talk about duplication process, you have to think about it like an entrepreneur. Click the next one. The solution to everything we see, the decline in the buying power, well, all the sins in society is very simple. You don't need anybody else to do this, but you have to program this in the brain. Karatbars is a lifeboat amidst all the stuff that we see. But a lifeboat without Karatbars in it, in particularly that particular kind of gold, is nothing but a pile of wood on shore. And if you're not careful, you're going to end up swimming with the paper money sharks And I don't know whether you're going to be on the upswing or the downswing. Hit the next slide. You have to understand what you're looking at. This is an entrepreneur's literally dream. Literally. If you're an investor, this is not a speculative investment. You're looking at a legitimate business plan strategy on how to take a low four figures, turn it into a six-figure residual income in less than a year, get a return of capital outlay in about 90 days by following the plan as described and communicating that to where you've created an asset, 100% cash flow positive, zero risk exposure, spinning off pure residual income in all kinds of cash or exchanging it for pure gold bullion, all utilizing an infrastructure that you don't have to pay for. Does it have employees? Yeah. Do you pay for them? No. Does it have all the other infrastructure and regulatory agreements? Yes. Do you have to take care of that? No. All you have to do is tell people. But understand, systems are what attract them. And when you deal with the masses that aren't familiar with it, or they're so programmed in the brain like a job, it's going to be a difficult thing because what they do has not gotten them where they want to go. I often ask this, how long have you been in a career? If you've been in a career more than 10 years, if the tasks you perform in that career were ever designed to make you financially wealthy and give you real freedom, don't you think they would have done it by now? You know I don't hold anything back. So what we have here is very simple. We have the attributes of a franchise-like system without the employees and overhead or inventory of a brick and mortar duplication business. How about the next slide? You see, in anything you do, even your traditional business, whatever it is, sales, service, merchants, products, whatever it is, all businesses must sell something to someone that wants to buy something or no money's made. So I have to clarify this. What is it that you're selling? Look at, first of all, what you're going to see here is not an MLM. It's not a subscription, and it's not a consumable product or a service, consumable service, reoccurring. All those things are great, except if you stop doing them, do you have anything? Nothing. What we have, it doesn't rust, doesn't rot, never needs maintenance. You don't eat it, drink it, wear it, smoke it. You don't clean with it. You don't pass it through your kidneys. No one is sorry they ever have it, even a garage full of it, no matter whether they started or stopped now or not. It always looks good on any financial statement anywhere in the world. And no one can make it better than it is in quality, size, and security. Next slide. You have to understand, some people got this drone thing in about MLM. You need to understand where Karatbars fit in. Is it an MLM? There's three components of every economic system on the planet, in any country, anywhere. First, it's demand. That's you and me. We want stuff. Two is supply. Merchants, manufacturers, and service providers want to sell us stuff we want to make demand for. And the third is the medium of exchange. And what we've been dealing with right now primarily is paper money and digital money. Follow me? Next slide. So where does this fit in? You have to understand where we are in the world. Are we as consumers happy today? No. We're spending more than we ever have. It's negatively affecting the masses. Merchants, manufacturers, and service providers happy today? No. Their expenses are going up, the bottom line's going down, and all the hierarchy is distribution is passing the overhead down all the way to you. And last but not least, is the money happy today? No. It doesn't do what it used to do, and it's causing a negative effect across the planet, and the symptoms we see in society is because the money doesn't do what it used to do. This is the first generation where we will not be able to leave our children a better future doing the same kind of tasks and work that we did. Ain't gonna happen. Not for the masses. There will be a select few, which means this: you're either going to be on the upswing or the downside. There isn't going to be any middle ground. It's going to be wiped out. Next slide. Where does Karatbars fit in? It's not an MLM. So when you communicate that or your brain is on that track, you are missing it, man. Big time. MLM are consumables and subscriptions. They fit in the supply chain. Does Karatbars sell gold? Yes, but that's not what it is. The actual part of it is money. You're seeing the transformation, and you will recognize it when it comes. We had inklings of very first part of it at the Las Vegas convention. Karatbars are in the money category. Paper money, digital money, gold money. It's the reason why we have only rectangular shaped, 999.9 billion stamped by an LBMA accredited refinery on the London Good Delivery List. It's the only real money all banks and governments already use to settle debt. And so you're looking at a triad of a new honest money system in development. But it's not full yet. There has to be enough of it in the hands of people that Karatbars accounts and companies, when the paper money goes into a spiral, which I have full confidence you're going to see all kinds of changes coming, that these will make sense, that on top of being able to say in cash, paper money, digital money, you'll also attract a new customer base with gold money, which has no inflation. You can't print more of it. There isn't any credit, which is money you haven't earned yet, and there's no fractional lending, like when you give $1 to the bank and they loan out 9 more. By the way, 13 banks. You need to go Google this. Google bail-ins, 13 major U.S. banks. And you will find that 2 of our banks have more derivative debt than all of the gross domestic product of the world. And a bail-in, you need to Google and see what a bail-in is. It's very important because that's coming. Mark my word. They're already doing it in different places, and now they're going to slip it in at some point. Next slide. So what you're seeing is here is a natural development and evolution of an alternative economic, non-competing commerce mechanism, to where anything that can be bought in paper money could be bought in fractions of a gram of gold money if the gold money were uniform across the planet, okay, look the same and recognizable and familiar. And that's going to take a little bit of time, but not too much time. Some things from the conference. You know, we're beginning to bring in, Amazon and eBay are 2 e-commerce companies. They didn't have to put paper money and credit in your hands. It was already there. Well, when enough people have gold money, it'll make a natural evolution to allow them to also, not to replace, also be able to attract a new customer base with Karatbars accounts in times when we hit stage 2. Stage 1, we're building up to an event. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what the timetable is. Lots of things to contribute that. Stage 2, we're in the event. The exchange value of the paper money will be dramatically different here and in different places. The BRICS Bank and the demand for the dollar has gone way down. And as that advances, we can export our inflation. It's coming here. You have to understand that. Okay? And so these things could be triggered by any part. We're seeing gas prices go down now, mainly because we have more production ourselves and there's a glut in the market. The reality is this. If the dollar lost the value that it has, gas would probably go to $9 a gallon. That's going to change a lot of things in transportation of necessities. So the reality is we have a system here that will be an alternative mechanism. Now, go ahead and hit the next slide. The 2 tasks that any entrepreneur have to know is, I don't want you to be a gold salesman. So, you know, take a tape recorder. If you're not having the success you want, I really encourage you, go take a tape recorder, put it in your pocket, and as you go, if you go and describe this to people or however you introduce it, record it. We're not here to critique you. We're here to say, listen to it yourself. Is what you're saying and doing, would that be attractive to other people to come look? This business is pathetically simple. And everybody wants an asset that makes residual income, and especially when they can acquire gold bullion with it. 2 tasks make it. Next slide. That system is the key. And there's some dynamics that have been missed here that people I don't know if they recognize it, or there's something not engaging in some parts, and others they boom like this. It's just ridiculous growth in that direction. You have to understand these dynamics here didn't come from Karatbars. Successful affiliates took components like making bread, flour, water, yeast, and salt. They put them together, and it's like in an oven, which the oven with this system is what you want. If what you want is more important than the fears or distractions that you'll encounter, you'll overcome those things and work to get where you want. Otherwise, your perception will always keep you limited. Remember, you want to be on the upswing or the downside. The middle ground is going to be wiped out. That's what happens in every country when a currency goes through a massive exchange value, a reset. Now, I talked about building up to an event in stage 1. I talked about in stage 2, there's going to be lots of blaming when we go through some type of change. China bought 85% of the world's gold production last month. They're getting ready to do something. You don't do that. All central banks are trying to repatriate their gold back to their countries. They don't want it stored abroad. Okay? So they're looking at different things. Mining is going through the roof, but when the price of paper gold, which Wall Street's been pumping and dumping on the investors here to get into gold mining stocks, that's a paper. That 1 ton of gold holds up 100 tons of gold paper sales. You can't take those paper stocks and turn it into physical metal. It doesn't work that way. And so what we only deal with is real bullion. And so these components make bread. And I'm talking about that type of bread, okay? Not the kind that you eat. If you want it, it's there for you. But make no mistake, even with a system not perfect, we move the ball down the field. We don't divert anything. And there's a ton of us entrepreneurs that are moving this ship straight forward regardless of that. Some people have backed off. That's your prerogative, but you will miss a gigantic lion's share of this as key companies and components are added into the structure. When we talked about at Las Vegas, Harold is introducing some key product partners. So by creating an asset with Karatbars that spins off residual income, you can take it in residual income, cash flow, gold bullion, or premium lifestyle. From doing work one time, you get the benefit of all three. And as we add in product partnerships, you know, we're having in 2016 a new clothing lines coming out. Some of the designers were from Hugo Boss. When I was in the Stuttgart office, I saw them come in. The Vatican, the liaison for the Vatican, one phone call, and we have a new saint card that's going to be coming out. Now, they already did 100,000 grams, you know, and they wouldn't be involved in something if they didn't know the company was reliable and what we had value and was exactly what it was supposed to be. And so the key component here is we become a brick and we show people how to connect bricks together, not be the best gold salesman. That's way too much work. And so enrolling an account, choosing a package, and moving $65 a week in your own account is the brick. And the last part, connecting the bricks, remember what I asked. In the times we live in today, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business strategy to produce $4,500 a week of passive income? If so, how many? A few, a lot, more than a lot? Go ahead and hit that next page. You have to understand the flow. It's not enough to get in. When you enroll an account, you're not moving any money. It doesn't cost you a penny to do it. Okay? There's no maintenance fees. There's no financial anything. It's signing up and setting up a tool in your tool belt just like you would to the bank. Now, getting a package, that has no velocity. You make one transaction. So if your mindset is, although the packages have different unit values, that's how you're going to make money, you're going to wake up very soon as people stop just getting packages, you're going to wake up and find that your volume dropped like this. Now, what do successful people do? They understand the principle of velocity. And when you make one transaction every week in your account, and you teach people to duplicate. And you can't duplicate anything that you're not doing, right? And if you're not doing it, you don't want to tell people. Is that true? Think about it for a minute. Isn't that true? When you're doing it, you are motivated to tell people, and very quickly, you move yourself off of your wallet, which has always been limiting you in time and money. And you move yourself into a system. $25 million business fits in my back pocket. And I can use that with a phone. I can go anywhere in the world. It's got sample Karatbars and it's got my MasterCard in it. That's all I ever need to show any entrepreneur. I don't have any inventory. I don't take any orders. I don't handle any money. None of that. Everything else is taken care of me. All I have to do is show people an easy way how to do two tasks, save capital correctly in preserving it in gold bullion, and allow some other people and capitalize across the planet. This is a yes waiting to happen when it's explained properly, or it's led to the tools which move it properly. On top of that, we have so many new stuff going on. We're not in the skincare business, but goldbad.com hooked up to us as our first test alliance partner. It's a gold product. On top of that, we are not in the gold coin business, but this is a patented coin. Okay? It has no VAT on it whatsoever. That's a silver coin with a 1 gram ingot of pure 24 karat gold in the middle of it. We're going to use it for incentives, rewards. And it says freedom, recognition, respect, friendship, and love on here. That represents what we give to others. You have to understand, when you make a transaction every week and you duplicate that and you tell people about that and you put some action behind this, very quickly, you are never using your own wallet to acquire the gold. Our goal is to get you off your wallet and onto the system so that the gold acquisition comes from the system, not from your wallet anymore. And anybody who understands that would be doing this like crazy. Next slide. It comes again to what is the message that you're portraying. Tape it. Next slide. My grandfather told me this, and it's the truth. You want to get ahead, you don't need a high IQ. You only have to show up, pay attention, and just do something. Michael Jordan is a prime example. I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. You don't have to ask a bazillion people. There's a finite number of people you'll have to ask to take a look at this, on how to create an asset that makes residual income, especially the older generation right now. Baby boomers, they got their rear ends kicked in 2006, 7, and 8, and they're trying to find a way to get back. But number one, the traditional methods ain't working. The stock market has been inflated by pumping in fiat money from QE3 into it. Now that they stopped doing it, watch what's going to happen with the value isn't in the paper anymore. It's not there. It probably goes back to QE4 after they figure out what's going to happen with the reset. And the Swiss making a vote November 30th, which is going to have significant, pay attention to that, that's going to have significant impact on gold worldwide. Google that. Okay, next slide. If you're an entrepreneur, I want you to evaluate this on 5 main points. Matt Reddick makes $2 million a month in his financial planning business. He turned it over to his management team to run. Nobody making $2 million a month does that and gets in Karatbars unless they know it's a significant opportunity. So you evaluate this on 5 points. What's the market size? How do you open up outlets to capture the market? What time and cost to open up outlets to capture the market? At what point do I have a return of capital outlay? Okay, and what's my ROI on time and capital? You see, this isn't a speculative investment. This is not some kind of compounding interest on a money put in game. This is a return on the investment of time leverage. I do 10 hours of work. You do 10 hours of work. You find 2 people that do 10 hours of work. We have 40 hours of work going in for your 10 hours. There's hundreds of thousands of hours of work going in right now. Okay? And it's the rights to utilize a global infrastructure built on someone else's time and money. The best part about this whole deal is you didn't have to set up the rest of it. The only thing you got to do is preserve your capital correctly. And who doesn't want to maintain their buying power in what they have? Next slide. I think you have to go back one. If you want to track the market, which is a bigger market, people who can buy large size bars, that's gold sales. Or people who can accumulate smaller bars. You see, we don't spend money. We exchange it. $1 is the same as 4 quarters. And you will understand the relevance and power in the fact, maybe not now, but maybe you might go to bed and you wake up and you go, wow, I get it now. Next slide. This system that we designed was built on the 4 pillars of truth about all economies worldwide. That's why it's a natural fit in the triad of demand, supply, and medium exchange. The movement of money is the key. The velocity of the movement of money is the key to making this work for you very quickly and attracting tons of people. And when you participate in and voluntarily are transparent in a world out there that's always trying to put one over on people, when you show them your invoices that you are doing what needs to be done, and that that I wouldn't be asking you to do something I'm not willing to do, you can start today. This business is extremely forgiving. You just may not have understood. That is the secret to making serious residual income. Weekly, monthly, and yearly. And so the business revolves around these timeless principles. Next. This page right here is the secret to my success. It involves, I came up, I saw the business go up, go down, go up, go down, and I needed some stability in the market. And I need to understand, why is it that some people perceive this in a different way? And it really came down to they were being misunderstood. What I want you to know is that this page here reflects the mindset that is necessary in order to create that. And so the mindset's the question, the system is there, and the dynamics make it work. Number one, there's no bargaining with it. If you want to create it, you can do Karatbars any way you want to. You want to use the account for self-protection, you don't need to tell anybody, just use it. Why would somebody want to use a Karatbars account? Number one, you have an online offshore cash management system in a secured server you can do in your pajamas, and you eliminate the broker. Literally, you put you in the way. And for us, remember, anything in the United States, with a stroke of a pen, they come in your house, in your vault, in your bank, in your safety deposit box. They can go take your assets in your IRAs and your 401ks, and they can swap them out with public trust bonds of equal value. We didn't take anything, we just swapped it out. Taking your hard assets and swapping it out with an IOU. That's coming. And if you understand that, Karatbars provides a doorway. Unlike if they come in, here in the United States, if they come take, you got to go through their due process to get it back. Look, I've already been a repo man for 27 years. I know what it takes in the process that people have to go to, and I have compassion for it. That when their car is taken, the process they have to go through their bank's due process to get it back. I understand it. And so what you have here is a door. They can't come into your Karatbars account without due process. They can't do it. Here in the United States, with a stroke of a pen, they can come in and do whatever they want. Mind you, when they start hunting for money, where do you think they're going to go? Next slide. This is your first 30 days in the business. I keep it simple for brand new people, and it's easy to start up brand new people this way. But the hardest thing is, people that had a different perception when they first started, it's not that easy to get them to understand this here is all I want you to think about the first 30 days. I want you to ask 100 people to take a look, even if it was as simple as this. Hey, Bill, this is Dan. Listen, you got a minute? Are you tied up? But can I ask you, no, you're free, great. Let me ask you a question. In the times we live in today, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business plan strategy to make $4,500 a week of passive income. Do you think they're out there? Okay, how many? A few, a lot, more than a lot? Bill, are you one of those people? I found something that makes sense. It will protect you. It will protect your family. It will protect your assets. And I want to get some information in your hands. It ain't hard. You got to do it. You can do it any way you want to do it. Just get it in front of people. Ask 100 people in 30 days and teach people to do that. You'll create momentum like crazy. Okay, next slide. Keeping people together and on track. This slide here is how we put mortar between the bricks. Remember, instead of being the gold salesman, become the brick. Connect other people willing to be the brick. And then the mortar between us is transparency. And so we got to connect people together because your account's private and secure. You can't get any information on that unless you share it with them. So you need to know who your senior partner is. You need to know their information. This chart is a hybrid of the unilevel where I refer somebody and that person refers a couple of people and those people refer a couple of people. Not you being the superstar and referring 50 people, because that isn't what this is here. We know that within 3 people away from you, the message is either kept and on track or the wheels went off the track and you need to get it back on the track. In transparency, your name would be up there in the leader. And let's say you sponsor 5 people and some want to do it casually. They don't really want to commit. But those that want to commit to a proven strategy to produce an asset that spins up residual income gold bullion, their name would go into level 1. So you willing to enroll? Yeah. You willing to get a package? Yeah. You willing to upload your KYC documents to secure, establish, and protect your account? Yeah. You willing to acquire a gram a week in your own account for velocity of the movement of money? Yes. Then I wouldn't want you to think I'm asking you to do something I'm not doing myself. I will take you right to my invoices and show you. Here, I'm going to show you my invoice. You don't need to do that. Yes, I do. Show your invoices. It builds trust, especially if you're connecting with somebody that you don't know personally. And by doing that, you create accountability for success for what they want, not what you want for them. Hey, I'd like everybody to be gold director. That just ain't going to happen. Anybody that wants to be one can be, but not everybody will decide to be one. And if you're on this right now and you don't even need money, you got all your assets. Let me just ask you one question. Are your assets in dollars? Is your stocks, bonds, annuities, is your 401ks, IRAs, your bank account, your real estate, loans, all of that is in dollars? Remember, whatever happens to the dollar happens to everything they've kept in dollars. You'll be either on the upswing or the downside. There isn't going to be any middle ground. There's going to be a real pruning of the tree. Now, by doing this, we leverage. And when your senior partner gets connected with this, hey, Bill, let me see if I can get our senior partner on the line here. Hi, Tony. Listen, I've got Bill on the line here, and he wants to join our team of 14. Do you got a couple of minutes? Yes. Never make this more than 10-minute phone call, ever. Even if you guys hit it off like long-lost brothers and sisters. 10 minutes off the phone. If you want to get back on the phone, make it a second call, but get off the 3-way. You want to know the name, username, phone, email, and Skype. By doing this, it builds a bond and connectivity to all of us. And so when your senior partner says, you know, Bill, I wouldn't want you to think that we want you to do something we wouldn't be willing to do ourselves. Let me see if I can get online here and show you my invoices. That's why it takes 10 minutes, not because you're going to do a bunch of talking. It's just we want to know who you are to put on that chart. That builds a team on the field. Putting your jersey on is different on the field than wearing a jersey in the grandstands. All right? Okay, next slide. The process of doing your use of work. Here's the other thing I found. See, results take time to be measured. I always kind of look and see and then test and see what the results are. Results take time. And so this is the funnel. Most people say, Dan, I love the product. I love gold. I want to acquire it. I just don't know how to share it. And once I'm in there, what to do. So I'm going to point this funnel out. This is what happens. Click the next slide. This is your funnel. Okay? In your phone, I want to ask you, how many people you got in your phone? Go look in your contacts list and come up with a number. If you got more than a couple of hundred people, some people got 500 to 1,000. I got 1,046 people on my phone right now. And so you have contacts and spheres of influence. However you drum them up, they might be in your phone. They might be in your Christmas list. They might be people that you work with. They might be the people you pay your bills to when you write a check. You know, let me put it this way. If I'm paying somebody money for my services, they need to listen to give me time to show them what I'm doing to plant the seed, or they ain't getting my business. Done. And I don't care whether you get involved with it. All I care is that you think enough of me to let me show you what I'm doing. And everybody wants an asset to make residual income. See, once the seed's in their head, you ain't ever going to get that one up. I've had people call back 2 years later and go, remember what you were talking to me? Yeah. I've been thinking about it. Are you still doing it? Of course. I don't work anymore. And so we have contacts and spheres of influence. Then we sift for the interested parties. Then we show the 12-week strategy. Click the next slide. And you're looking, this is the art of the business. Your goal is to get the 12-week strategy. And understand, it is only a perfect world example to show you what can happen. We always show the bronze to show the 12-week strategy is a formula to help them get what they want. So if you don't even know what they want, how are you going to show them how to get what they want? That comes in the questioning process. So the reality is the art of the business is getting good at getting the plan in front of somebody, whether you can put it on your iPad, you can play a video for them, you can get them to a webcast, you can get them to a live meeting. The art of the business is just doing some units of work and getting that in front of them. You are looking for people with the 3Ds. That's it. And once they see the plan, your goal is to guide them into the correct program for what they are willing to do, not what you want them to do, what they're willing to do. If they only want to use the account for self-protection and they don't want to tell anybody, let me tell you right now, I've got a lot of customers. And they don't really want to tell anybody, but they like using the account. It's a change in their banking routine. Okay? Some may say, I want to use the account and I want to make some money casually, but I don't know if I'm really willing to commit to somebody. You see, you're not committing to us. You want to commit to what you want. If what you want is seriously important, commit to what you want. Okay? And so the third way is to commit to a strategy that creates an asset that spins off residual income and gold bullion. Those were the 3 charts that I showed you before. That is a blueprint that when analytics want to say, what's the problem? How do I do this? That's it, baby. That's $1 million blueprint. Understand the difference between a millionaire and a residual income millionaire. How much money would you have in the bank to make $1 million in residual income? Think about it. What are your assets like right now? What if they were paying you 1%? You need $100 million in the bank, get 1% payout, okay? Safely and securely. Number 2, you'd have to have 20 million in the bank getting a 5% return. Now, most people are never going to accumulate that because that is a put money in situation, which most people don't have it. Yet at the same time, everybody's got 24 hours. So we're going to leverage work and time to create the same thing a cash investment would be. And make no mistake, this is not a cash investment. This is not an interest-bearing account. This is getting paid to get in the way of the movement of money, of taking large order bars, turning them into small bars, and getting in the way of the profit structure that not one single gold seller in the planet is doing what we're doing, and we're in 100 countries, and we can let you buy 1 gram. All the other competitors, read the terms and conditions. Now, nobody has competition in what we do, and so we're cutting ground. We're looking for our mine, by the way, right now. Companies looking to part with their mine. When that happens, we're going to have an additional gold flow on top of whatever happens in the market. Understand, the company has 3 good delivery list refinery accounts. Getting 1 is like a big deal. Refineries run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never slows down. It never cools off. And even to get a 4-hour window to melt and to melt to 999.9 and to mint the bars, you have to fit in their production queue and you have to maintain your ranking with them. So we have 3. Next is a mine. You announce it at Vegas. Now, this process, you do this over and over and over and over and over and over, putting people in the right program. Some will want to be customers, some will want to work it casually, and some will be serious about within the next 6 to 12 months, I'm financially independent. I mean, I don't even care what happens with the stock market. This baby has game, and the worse the economy gets, the better our business gets. It gets better. It doesn't get worse. It gets better. Until where your entire system worldwide can be run off a MasterCard and e-wallet and pure gold bullion, extracting lifestyle worldwide, wherever you want it to. Next, but people have to be plugged into the information train. Look, if you sponsor this and they're not in the information train, that's like getting a nice flower in a pot, but you never water it. If you're serious about making residual income and you're not on Skype, get on Skype. If you don't know how to work it, find a 12-year-old. They know how to work it. Okay? Just get on it. It's a communication tool. And once you start using it, you realize how simple it is. Okay? You can do this. We have people that don't do anything but face-to-face with some charts. That's it. You don't need anything else. You're sifting for the interested parties. You do 100 units of work. Measure this. And this is what happened. You ask 100, only 80 people will give you 3 minutes of their undivided attention. So you put their initials in that box and put a big red marker over the top of them. You're supposed to have at least 20 people that wouldn't give you the time of day to be successful on the way to being a millionaire. Yeah. Okay. And out of the other ones, they're going to find people. You ask 100, 80 will listen, 40 will actually see the plan, which means out of 100 people you ask, only 40 out of 100 actually saw with undivided attention our plan. And out of the 40 that saw it, 20 will instantaneously enroll. 1 or 2 questions, I'm in. And out of the 20 that enroll, 10 will buy a package at the same time they register. And out of the 10 that register, 6 are going to do this with or without you. They ain't in this, and you don't got to convince them. You just got to get them to the plan in front of them. And they may be somebody who is extremely lots of stuff going in their life, and the timing's not right. Never discount them. Okay, next slide. You're looking for you need 2 people with the 3 Ds. I want to ask you yourself a question. You're the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Yours. And what if you were the hiring manager? Would you hire you in the job here? See, I don't care what you do for a living to make money. What do you do with the money that you make? If you keep it in paper, you're losing buying power. You stay in paper money, you're going to buy less stuff in the future. Exchanges some Karatbars, gold money, you'll buy more. You open an account. This is your paycheck, however you make it. Even whatever they have. You take this, you put it in your account, your regular bank. Instead of leaving it in there, which is worth less buying power, you turn some of it into gold, physical 24-karat gold metal. And as the value of the paper money goes down, what happens to the value of your gold account? It either goes up or is preserved where at the time that you exchange it, it balances out the loss in buying power that you're having by staying in paper money. So there's no way to lose in this, except if you don't put some gold in your own lifeboat. And if you want to make an asset, you're not utilizing the principle of velocity. That will make you free. These people here, you're eliminating people from that 100 chart. You're not convincing them. You're eliminating them to find the people with the 3 Ds. So if you go teach people to do 100 units of work in 30 days, good, bad, right, wrong, ugly, pretty, doesn't matter which way you do it, just do it. Show up, pay attention, and just do something. And do it consistently. You'll be amazed at what happens. Amazed. Next slide. You have to understand everything runs in volume. You need volume down 2 arms. You just got to get in the way of the movement of money with it. And so it doesn't matter whether you only buy a gram a week or whatever you do. When you're put in the profit structure, somebody's going to talk to somebody that's going to bring on a nonprofit. Some of them are going to open up businesses that will take cash and gold. Some will have branding cards. Let me tell you right now, man, we have some incredible branding cards coming out in big companies. Here's our brand new Christmas card right there. Merry Christmas. Here's our birthday card. New one. This is a new Merry Christmas card. We have one that's for safety with kids and cops. Okay? Brand new charity. Let me tell you right now, that charity is a huge deal. It's got 4,000 reps, has 4,000 outlets that do that program. 4,000 that are plugged into schools for fundraisers. We have prepper cards. You've probably seen a lot of, here's one for the deaf. Okay? To commemorate this for the people that have hearing challenges. You know, everything we do, we have different outlets. This one right here, look at this. You know what that is? That's like an Olympic water polo. It's called the Hornets. You know what? They have Karatbars Speedos. No kidding. For real. They've got Karatbars on their Speedos. You're going to see us break loose. This is a Michael Jackson card. Limited edition production. Yes, the artwork was licensed to be on it. And we all have different stuff for wounded warriors, etc. You can make whatever you want. There's booklets. They wouldn't let me take pictures of it. But there's booklets of cards that this company's made that you never see. They're not on the website. You're not going to see it. Private issue. So all these different things come on to create volume. Next slide. The body of that elephant, though, is being a VIP. So if you're not a VIP, do work now. Either advance that or get there. Okay? That maximizes out the work and the payoff on the units as they're accumulated. Now, every business has a cost of customer acquisition. So you choose how you want to market. The cost, if you're going to use your phone, the cost is going to be your self-image. So if you're that, why do you think so many people are not successful? Because they haven't figured out that your self-image and your conviction on what you do has to be there in order to do that. Otherwise, your self-image is dependent on what somebody else thinks of you. And that is an incorrect motion in here. Many people have it. And so do what you need to do. If you're not plugged into the culture, I'm going to tell you right now, unless you're Iron Man, you're going to miss it. Next. Velocity is important in making transactions, but momentum is too. Hit the next slide. You see, you can concentrate momentum. Gary worked with us together and concentrated momentum down one side. We focused on developing one side first. Did we give up income? Yeah, well, guess what? We had unilevel income on it, but we didn't have any dual team. Because at first, we were focused on pushing the snowball over the hill. Here's one strategy. If you're strapped for cash, sponsor both sides. If you're not strapped for cash, look on developing at one of the sides. Remember, in order to cycle or to get dual team payouts, you need 50 units on one side and 25 units on the other, correct? So develop a 50 side, but be a VIP when you do it. If you got resources, here's how you maximize it. And what we did is we set our dual system to the same side our sponsor was on, and we just kept motivating and putting people down that side. You know what? It grew very quickly, and people were happy. And then once you know how to do it, guess what you did? Next slide. We started building down the other team side. Follow me? This is what we did. And so remember, the person at the top up there, that's a key account. I mean, it doesn't matter who puts it there, but that's a key account. If you're building down one side, we switched our placement to the other side. Now click the next slide. And we started building down that side, doing what we did here. So you place a couple builders down the left. These are people that have the 3Ds and are serious. And teach each of those two to place two each down that side. And how do you know those two people are the ones that did it? Only if they did do it. If the two you said were builders down on the left team didn't place 2 builders each, which means 2 people find 4 people, 4 people find 8 people, 8 people find 16 people, 16 people find 32 people. That's how you get 4,500 people, right? Down the right side, when you switch it, you already did it with the first side. Now you go do it with the other side. And whether you use internet technology to drum up the leads and segue, you go to resume to go find it. However you're going to do. Let me tell you what, we got great stuff for resumes. And so you're going to go build on the other side and build it out. Go to the next one. Is that it?
That's it.
Momentum and velocity. The key things that some of you are doing all the right stuff except you haven't got velocity. You make a transaction once or maybe once in a while. Making a transaction consistently, and some of you have been in network marketing before. This is a whole different ballgame. We are an e-commerce company. We utilize some direct referral marketing, similar to mortgage companies, and we also use an accelerated optional pattern, which is the dual team, which never goes away. It doesn't flush out. It pays out where creating volume is anywhere on both sides. Doesn't matter who creates it. Doesn't even matter if you put one on one side and don't put any on the other side, but somehow another person falls on your other side, whether you found them or not. 2 teams create volume. If you understand the dynamics of this very quickly, this, folks, is what you get. But you have to understand that that doesn't come by focusing on money. It comes on focusing on developing teams with people with the 3 Ds, following a pattern that replicates, and doing your share of work. You don't have to be superstar. Bring in a couple. If you have to ask 20 people to find 2 that duplicate and replicate, not 2 people who say they're going to do it. 6 birds were sitting on a tree branch. 3 decided to leave. How many birds are on the branch? 6. Deciding ain't doing. Want to point that out because right now we're going to go through a huge growth spurt. I live in Fort Worth now. I'm going to do what I did in California, here in Colorado, and we're going to boom Dallas and Houston area. So we do stuff at the Omni Hotel at Park West. We have some people brought in from other splinter groups that are in our team that are coming together. I mean, the team in Atlanta, folks, they're asking 500 people a month. It's called Project 500. There's 27 millionaires in our group. We're looking for the next 27 millionaires. Are you one of them? All you have to do is follow the pattern, but you're not going to do it if you haven't figured out what you want. Do you want an asset that makes residual income and acquires gold bullion in a simple fashion by saving capital correctly? If that's you, and letting a few other people know, if that's you, you are definitely on the right track. If not, figure out what your plan is to acquire residual income. And will your residual income be negatively affected if the dollar devalues? Our system, as the value of the dollar declines and paper money in general declines, our business model gets better. So we want to invite you to come be a part of that chain. Don't wake up later and find out, man, I wish I would have taken action. Okay? Overcoming obstacles, everybody's got them. They're there for you to have empathy to other people that go through them. That's how you help somebody. So guess what? Somebody said, Dan, you're wealthy now. You know what? If I got to pay $1 for every time I failed, yeah. You don't have to go through that process. We had to figure out what worked for 3 years. You don't have to. We know what works. You got awesome leadership right here in Dallas. I mean, Gary Pruitt and Sonia and the rest of the team members that you have there, Jack and Jim, I'm going to tell you, man, that is a powerhouse that you guys can turn your entire team. And I know I'm missing a bunch, but I look forward to meeting you and turn that into a machine, man. Turn it a machine. Velocity, enroll, package, KYC, gram a week, find a couple people that do that. You can find as many as you want. Go do that and duplicate it. transparency by showing your invoices, it builds trust, and it makes the pattern that that's what you do to be successful. And in that process, we're tools in your tool belt. I am going to expand the business in many ways. One of them that I'm going to do that I test drove, which is very successful, is that I do from my computer right here. I find somebody in my group that is motivated to go make it. If they're following velocity and they have a package, I don't care which one you have, and you're acquiring your gram a week, putting it in that, and you actively want to expand it. You take your laptop, and if you have a big screen TV or a flat screen TV, plug your laptop into it. Me from my home here, I will go and do a webcast that you can see me and you can hear me from my home in your home. We can invite a warm market in if you want to come take a peek. We keep it simple. We show the business, and I can see you, you can see me, and we can ask and answer questions. And I'm going to find the most excited one. Somebody says, what's your level of interest on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm a 10 or a 12. Great. Then let's put this in front of some other eyeballs, and I will schedule an appointment, and I will go do exactly what I'm doing on a webcast from my computer there, and you can count on me showing up. And we'll show the business plan to them, see who's interested, and I'm going to find the most interested party that's in their home, and we're going to go do the same for them. And so I'm going to go to work and drive a massive volume down through this. I know exactly what to do. I know how to do it, and people will jump on this thing like a duck on a June bug. Well, all we need to do is get your business started, but first with velocity. You understand, I can work anywhere, but I know that if people are doing the things that are necessary to make that happen, they will win. If they're not, it doesn't work right for them. Okay? So if you want to just buy casually, you can. If you want to build a small group or not commit, you don't have to. But if you're serious about making an asset that makes residual income gold bullion, then that's what you need to do. And I'm not going to hold anything back from you, because you deserve to know that's what makes money, and fast. And you acquire gold, you don't use your wallet anymore. And who doesn't want that one? That's all I have to say for you tonight.
That's awesome.
Okay.